Hello, Math Lab. So this is going to be our first video with the Google Classroom. If you have me for another math class, this might be actually your second video, depending on the order that you did your assignment. So for this class, some of it's going to be review, some of it's going to be the stuff that we've seen, some of it's going to be kind of attached to your other math classes. I don't want to make it too huge. It is a math lab class, so I want to make sure you're getting some review, that you're turning in some work, that you're understanding some stuff better, but I don't want to make it too overwhelming. So this is one that we kind of have gone over before, but it's one that you're going to be seeing always, so it's a good review to kind of start off with too. So we're going to be doing solving systems with the transitive property, and I'm not sure with Algebra C or Math Lab if I've actually talked specifically about the transitive property. So here it is. The transitive property says if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. Okay, so what does that mean? So let's just say that people were comparing their types of shoes. So that some people are saying that they had like some Vans, okay? If Joe and Alex said that they had the same shoes, and Alex and Sasha said that they had the same shoes, then we could say that Joe and Sasha had the same shoes. It's like you can cut out the middle person. You don't have to worry about that middle person. The two people that started and ended with are also the same. So if you look back at our letters, we have if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C, which basically means that A and C are the same as B, that middle word, number, person, what have you. That means that they must be the same as each other. Now, how that works with solving an equation is if they both equal y, then they equal each other. So the first problem that we're going to go over, and I think we're going to go over about 3. Oh, by the way, it is up to you on whether you want to write these down or not. If you think you need to, write them down. If you want to do your assignment while the video is playing, go for it. I'm going to leave that up to you. So, first problem. They both equal y. So they both say y equals. It's very important that they say y equals. Since they both say y equals, then their other sides must also be equal. So we can make the equation that 5x plus 6 equals 2x plus 15. Since those both equal y, whatever y happens to be, then they must equal each other. So this becomes an equation we can solve. So I have variables on both sides. I need to subtract one of them. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. I'm going to get 3x plus 6 equals 15. I'm going to then subtract 6 from both sides. I'm going to get 3x equals 9. And if I divide both sides by 3, I get x equals 3. Now remember, that is only the first half of our solution. We also then have to figure out what y is, because when we're writing something like the answer to a system, our answer is always in terms of x comma y. So I only have half of my answer. So to get the other half of my answer, I now know that x equals 3. It's not a mystery. I know what it is. I can plug x equals 3 into either of these equations. It does not matter which one. So for absolutely no reason, I'm going to choose the top equation. So where there's an x, I'm going to put a 3. So it says y equals 5x. So instead of x, I'm going to put a 3 plus 6. 5 times 3 is 15, and 15 plus 6 is 21, which means I now know that x is 3, so that's our first part of our answer, and y is 21, so that's the second part of our answer. So that means that if I were to graph those two equations, they would cross at 3, 21. Okay, let's try another one. These ones, they both equal y, therefore they must equal each other. So we can write the equation that 7x minus 4 equals 3x plus 20. If I solve that equation, I'm first going to subtract 3x from both sides because I had variables on both sides. I have 4x minus 4 equals 20. Then I'm going to add 4 to both sides for my solving equations because the opposite of a minus is a plus. 4x equals 24. If I divide both sides by 4, I get x equals 6. So That means that I can now plug in x equals 6 into either of my equations. I'm going to choose the bottom one this time for absolutely no reason. Y equals 3 and x is 6 plus 20. 3 times 6 is 18. 18 plus 20 is 38, which means that these two lines cross their solution is 6 comma 38, which is not a point that you want to have to graph because that's a really huge graph. So it's nice to be able to solve it algebraically without graphing. Okay, we're going to try one more problem. Here's our two equations. They both equal y. Therefore, they must equal each other on the other side. So I can write that 2x plus 15 equals negative 5x plus 43. If I solve this, I'm going to add 5x to both sides, and I'm going to have 7x plus 15 equals 43. If I then subtract 15 from both sides, 43 minus 15 is 28. That's gone. And if I divide both sides by 7, I get x equals 4. So again, that's the first half of my answer. Now I'm going to plug x equals 4 into my top equation, mostly because I don't want to deal with that negative 5 or that 43. But if I put it in there, I'd still get the same answer. Y equals 2 times 4, because x is no longer a mystery, it's a 4, plus 15. And 2 times 4 is 8, plus 15 is 23, which means that these two lines cross at 4, comma 23. Again, I wouldn't want to graph that. It'd be a pretty big graph, but I was able to solve it algebraically. So today's word of the day that you are going to be using in your turn-in form is the word transitive, because we just used the transitive property. So make sure you write that down because you're going to be writing it in your Google form. You might want to write it on the piece of paper that you're about to do your assignment on. Transitive. Your assignment, same name as what this video is, solving systems with the transitive property. So you can either print it or you can write it on a piece of binder paper, totally up to you. It is due Thursday, March 26th. So once you have finished this video, you're going to do the assignment and then you're going to follow the turn-in form. Turn-in form has your name, what's the word of the day. You're going to upload a picture of your work. Make sure you're correcting it as you go because those answers are on the second page. So make sure your answers are correct. You have any questions, come to my virtual office hours Wednesday or Friday of this week. Email me, make a note on Google Classroom, reach out to me somehow. I can help you. Just let me know that you need help. And I hope y'all are doing good and have a good rest of your day.